Hello and welcome to Express English Dubai IELTS Writing Tips. Today Mr. John is going to be explaining how to write the perfect Task 2 essay. This lesson focuses on the advantages and disadvantages essay. Stay tuned to find out the best tips and strategies.
Hi there, my name is John and today we're going to be looking at Writing Task 2, Advantages and Disadvantages essay. Many students find this difficult, so we're going to try and crack this one together. We're going to be taking a look at analysing the question, planning, paragraph structure, and using linkers or sequencers. First of all, let's take a look at analysing the question. To begin with, we should read the question carefully. Fast-paced modern lifestyles have led to people eating more and more fast food at the expense of traditional meals. Do the advantages of eating more fast food outweigh the disadvantages? So, after reading the question, the first thing you should do is underline the few words that give us the topic. We call this topic sentence the general statement. People eating more and more fast food. Next, we focus on the task. This part should be nice and easy for this question. We should probably underline advantages, outweigh, and disadvantages. To get a good mark in the writing, we must answer the question fully. And this means covering, first of all, the advantages, secondly, the disadvantages, and thirdly, which outweighs the other. And this means which is greatest overall, the positive effects or the negative effects. Task achievement is 25% of the marks, and for many students, the easiest area to get a high score, but also possibly the easiest to really mess up. To reach a band 8, our answer needs to sufficiently address all parts of the task. Before we look at the structure, we need to decide which is greater. And we're going to choose the disadvantages of fast food, as I think we can easily provide stronger arguments to support this view. Next comes the planning stage. This should only take 1 to 2 minutes if possible. We need to think of one strong advantage and one disadvantage. We need to choose one that's quite general and not too specific. Why? Because this will make it easier for us to expand and develop and support the answers properly with reasons, results, examples, etc. We recommend a 4-paragraph essay. Firstly, paragraph 1, introduction. Secondly, body paragraph 1. This is talking about our side of the argument, which we're supporting, and in this case, the disadvantages. Body paragraph 2 is the opposing side, in this case, the advantages. The body paragraph 2 might be slightly shorter. Finally, the conclusion. Let's look at this in a little bit more detail. We're going to start off with the introduction, so we need to write 2 to 3 sentences here. Firstly, we're going to paraphrase the general statement from the question and also mention the main advantage and the main disadvantage. Paraphrasing means we should try to change the words and the structure without changing the meaning. We can do this by changing the order and secondly by using synonyms. Synonyms, as you might know, are words with the same or similar meaning. So let's have a look at the example for this question. You can see we've replaced normal everyday meals with conventional meals. We've also swapped fast food for junk food, which has a very similar or even the same meaning. We've also mentioned our main advantage, which is in this case convenience or saving us time. And we can also see our disadvantage mentioned, which is the damage to health that is caused by this type of food. We've chosen to write this in one sentence. However, if you're not so confident with grammar, you might want to split this into 2 sentences. Here we've written a longer sentence with two independent clauses and a dependent clause. This is called a compound complex sentence, and we'll be covering these in another lesson. This type of longer, more complex structure is going to get us more points in the grammar section. We've done this using the coordinating conjunction and the subordinating conjunction while. Good, we're done with the intro. Moving on now to body paragraph 1. Here we need to write about the side of the argument that we think is strongest. In this case, the disadvantages. Firstly, we state our main disadvantage in general terms. Key tip, don't be too specific here because it will be difficult to expand your answer. Next, we move on to explain the knock-on negative effects of this disadvantage with details and explanation. Following that, we need to support our argument with examples. The final step is to summarize why this disadvantage is so important. If we're aiming for a band 7 or 8+, it's really important we fully develop, extend and support our ideas. You can see that here on the official marking scheme. Always leave a full empty line between paragraphs. Some candidates only leave an indentation or a small space at the start of the line. This is okay, but it's much easier to forget, so better to be on the safe side and leave that full empty line to separate your 4 paragraphs. Great, moving on to body paragraph 2. Now we follow exactly the same structure as the body 1, except this time we're talking about the main advantage. Again, mention the main point broadly so you can fill in the details later. Next, going into more detail with an explanation of the negative consequences with reasons. Then we move on to support our advantage with examples. Lastly, a brief summary of why this advantage should be considered. Good stuff. Finished body 2. The final paragraph is the conclusion. Here we need to state our overall opinion. A good phrase to use is, in conclusion, the disadvantages outweigh the advantages because. Then we restate some of our body 1 disadvantages. Of course, we need to paraphrase here. We don't want to copy the same phrases from our body paragraph 1. Excellent, conclusion done. Lastly, 25% of the marks for IELTS writing are for coherence and cohesion. So we really need to make sure we sequence and link our ideas with cohesive devices or linking words. You can see the linking words highlighted here. Please click on the link below to download this useful link as PDF from our website. Remember, the most important thing with IELTS writing is keep practicing. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck in the test.